Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you may be. Welcome back to the cutest podcast in all of Wraith. Welcome back to Pitch Perfect here with Kiki and Elaine.
Hi, hello. Please ignore the fact that I'm wearing Christmas pajamas.
So we're doing a little bit impromptu today. There's no real plan or structure to this. This was literally decided, 20 minutes ago that we'd record because it's been a while?
Yeah. Kiki just Kiki and I were talking and they were like, are we recording tonight? And I was like, right now? They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, sure. Why not? I'm just home, with my cats, already in my pajamas, so I can record.
It's cute.
I want to talk about US Nats too. I just got back from Vegas a few weeks ago, so it's a good time to record.
Yeah, well, quick overview. How was US Nationals? This is basically our usual our week in Feb kind of situation right here. Except
yeah,
I did nothing and this is you. So
I was about to say, why don't you go first? I have more to talk about.
What did I do? Okay, real quick. I played an armory, I think. Yeah. Played as Prism. I've got Project Blue coming up tomorrow, so I need to build a deck for that. For those who aren't aware, it's like Commoner but with rares and a fairly extensive ban list. But it's a format that's being tested in New Zealand. And I think it wasn't supposed to get out to the rest of the world, but it did, so you all know what I'm talking about. I don't feel bad telling you about this. But yeah, we've got these exclusive Sync Below promos that hopefully I'm gonna try to win some. But yeah, and I'm probably gonna be on Oldham or Prism or Arrow tomorrow. So that's my week in Flesh and Blood, and next week I'll tell you about how that format goes, maybe. Yeah, I don't think I did anything else related to Flesh and Blood though, so
I am excited to hear about how Project Blue goes for you, though.
I haven't done any testing for it. So I'm mainly just getting lists of people and theorizing. But from my friends who have played it, because there was an event last week for it. The friends who have played it, they much preferred to Blitz. It's kind of you're doing kind of more balanced, powerful things, and the extensive ban list really does help with that. You can kind of do your powerful aggro things without having to worry about Sync Below or Fate for Sane because they're banned in the format. Meanwhile, it's not so overpowered. You don't have the Jarring Majestics, for example, that kind of spike the power level of the format. So yeah, very excited for it. But also, I'm so tired, so I haven't been as excited for it as I should be, in theory.
Yeah.
I was making videos. That's Flesh and Blood related, right? So we made...
That's Flesh and Blood related.
Yeah. So
doing some back-end work on the League also.
Exactly,
which
yeah.
Registration might be up by the time this video comes out. I don't know.
It should be.
But registration, it opens the 16th. It's either open already or it's right around the corner from being open. But I would imagine it's opened already. So go ahead and get your registration in for season 3.
And just a reminder, you don't even need to submit a deck list this time.
Oh, well, should we talk about that?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Okay, so we're trying something a bit different this year with the Rainbow Pitch League. We kind of talked about it in the last couple seasons where we'd have people kind of leave halfway through because they found that the deck they started with didn't function the way they necessarily wanted it to, and they didn't want to keep on playing this deck for the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks post that.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, if you kind of didn't quite get a grasp on how your hero worked or whatever, or you got some new cards for it, that was a big one. Because our league is kind of, don't want to say necessarily casual, but there's a lot of newer players that are kind of getting into it, or people that are less competitive going into it. And for them, they're on this journey of growing in Flesh and Blood, and as they play through the league and play against these people that they're learning from, they realize they've made some mistakes, or they're not happy with the deck list they initially sent in, or they purchased a legendary for their deck that they didn't have at the start of the event. And it kind of made it a bit harder for them, knowing that they'd have to switch their deck back, because it is a webcam league. You do have to play with physical cards. Made it a bit harder for them to want to keep on going. So we've changed it up this year, as you may have seen in the trailer. If you haven't, check that out somewhere around here. or down there, or who knows? Who knows how
Probably
that?
down
Yeah,
there.
probably down there. If we feel up to it, we'll put a link. Something pop up. Who knows?
I don't know.
It's possible. There are means. I think I can do it. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about it. Just don't cut this part out.
Okay. Okay.
But yes. So we've changed it up a little bit. Do you, Elaine, want to tell us about how it works this year?
Yeah, so this year, so registration before the league kicks off, usually you would have to submit a deck list, as Kiki said, but this year you only have to submit a hero choice, and then at the start of the league, Living Legend and ban lists will kind of be frozen unless something is like super broken in the format and that gets banned, like an emergency ban from LSS. We might follow that sort of ban if that were to happen. We don't really foresee that happening because High Seas meta is kind of is kind of settling out right now in some ways after US Nationals, and we won't have new cards introduced before the end of the league.
There's,
I believe,
2 products releasing during the league.
Yeah, but it shouldn't introduce anything too crazy.
No. Well, there's an entire set for Guardian. So you can kind of hedge your bet
Yeah.
there. And,
True.
you can...
I don't know how popular Guardian will be as a
Who knows? But,
hero choice. But who knows? We do always give some Guardians.
Valdo's legal.
Unless anything breaks a Guardian and LSS has to do an emergency ban on it, we don't foresee that happening. So yeah, you'll be able to kind of change your deck list revolving around the same hero throughout the course of the league, and then if you make it to top 8, you will have to submit a deck list prior to top 8 that you will be locked into for the entirety of top 8. I really hope like people like this change, and we've received good feedback from it so far. Of course, the league hasn't kicked off, but I think it's a way that the league does run a long time. Usually we're looking at 8 to 9 weeks worth of playing, and that's a long time to be like locked into a deck list that you're not really feeling, or so, or if you're a new player trying to learn the game, or if you're a competitive player and you found something else that works really well, no matter like what level player you are, it's fun to be able to tinker with your deck list. So I hope that players like that. I really hope that it's a way to like cater to the enjoyment of everyone in the league, both who are in it for the casual meeting people, learning experience, and those who are also in it to like get a little bit competitive, because I think we have like both in the league, and I hope that it makes a fun environment. I just really hope it goes well.
Yeah, for sure. I think there are there's obviously been some concerns as well about people kind of abusing the system, in the sense that they can, if they know what their opponent's on advance, they can literally just change up their deck to have like a perfect X amount of cards sideboard against that. So we kind of made the decision hoping that people wouldn't take advantage of that too much, but also the fact that everyone can do that kind of means that it's still somewhat of a fair balanced playing field, in the sense that everyone has the same opportunity to make those changes should they want to. And this is very much a test, if we do a season 4 and we don't end up doing this, it's because it didn't pan out the way we wanted it to, but we figured we'd give it a go.
Yeah, I feel like if you're like really trying to shark the Rainbow Pitch League, then like maybe we have bigger problems to deal with. I don't know, because it's just kind of not the environment we're trying to foster anyway. But yeah, also if you're trying to shark the league, like your opponent could also be trying to shark. So I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. I hope that it goes well. I hope people don't abuse it too much, and I hope that they like really just take it and use it for what it's meant for, which is just to like keep the league feeling like fun and fresh and enjoyable for you as a player.
Yeah, so you don't have to change your deck list back every time to a deck list you made 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, because Flesh and Blood is just like an ever-evolving game, and we want to like try and cater to that and understand that. So,
And speaking of changes, we have 2 whole new bounties this year. We've announced one of them publicly.
We do. Yes.
So if you haven't seen the video with our Season 1 champion Mercy being announced as the first bounty, click here maybe. Or down below. One of the two.
One of the two.
And our second has not yet been revealed unless you can figure out whose silhouette it is. So that trailer's still to come. Still working out. But yeah, no, we're not using Yuki, Mara, and Rhea this year. We thought we'd switch it up a little bit, get some different bounties, showcase some other fantastic players. So, also very exciting stuff. Do we have any other changes with the league? Anything else to note?
Probably not on the front end of things, right? People barely know the inner workings of what goes on behind the scenes. But I think in terms of like things that will impact players and player experience directly, that's it. And anything that's happening on the back end will hopefully impact player experience. Hopefully it'll all just like impact player experience for the better. That's the goal every year, right? To just make it better. Okay, please don't.
For now, there's more things that you haven't heard about and you'll find about in the future as they are ready. We're cooking. We're in the kitchen, we're cooking.
I'm excited. We're in the kitchen, we're cooking. It might not seem like it, but we promise things are getting hot. I'm excited. Super excited. About things we can't say yet, so maybe we should move on.
Moving on to U.S. Nationals. So, Elaine, you were in Vegas. How was your experience overall?
I was.
First, give us a brief rundown of how it went.
Vegas went amazing. I ended up playing in none of the main events for various reasons we could get into if we do like a day-by-day breakdown. Overall, I just played a lot of high seas. Sealed was actually like all I ended up playing all weekend, and I had so much fun. I will say I also just like, had so much fun being in Vegas, hanging out with friends. Would you stop biting me? For audio listeners, my cat is just trying to bite me.
Yeah, it's not me.
Yeah, it's not Kiki, it's Toast, this guy. I had so much fun just being in Vegas, and yeah, I had so much fun playing High Seas Sealed. This might be... I really do think... Maybe I say this every single set. Maybe... I wouldn't think that I say it every single set, but I might say it every single set that, like, this is my favorite Limited set. But I really, really, really do love playing High Seas Limited. Although I haven't been able to draft it, I've really been itching to. And I tried to draft it last night, but Armory filled up so fast, and my name did not get called on the wait list. So, played a lot of High Seas Sealed this weekend. Didn't play any of the main events. Still had a lot of fun.
Sorry, I'm just watching your cat.
Yeah, he's being so, like,
He...
sneaky evil right now.
What are your opinions,
I don't know why.
little cat, about the High Seas Limited format?
You have opinions, Toast?
I love that. Yeah, no, the High Seas Limited format is really fun, really interesting. I
really love...
I was gonna say, I really enjoy Sealed. Like, generally as a format, there are some bad Sealed formats. Like, I didn't like Heavy Hitters as a limited format. It was probably fine. I just personally enjoy it. Monarch is like a famously trash Sealed format. But High Seas, I feel like, was great, both in Sealed and Draft. I've played both a few times now, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
I haven't played... Like I said, I haven't played Draft, but I don't know with... Usually when I judge a set off of the limited experience, I am, like, more of a Draft enjoyer than a Sealed enjoyer. I just feel like there's so many more, like, decision points to be made in Draft, and I just, like I just like that format a lot more than sealed. I've never been like a huge sealed fan. It's always just kind of like, oh, I play it at my pre-release and that's fun. But this set, like, I played sealed all weekend and I had so much fun, and I've just been wanting to play more of it. Like, I think this limited format is so fun. And I think, like, Treasure Island is one of the best things LSS has ever done, if not the best thing LSS has ever done for a limited format. It's so fun, and it adds such an interesting, like, aspect to your games, and... Huh. Sorry, I just got a like notification from my bank, and I'm like, I did not just make that charge, so I'll have to figure that out later. Anyway, it's so fun. It adds like such an interesting aspect to all the games and all of like your matchups. And I will just say that one of my favorite things about Flesh and Blood ever is just how thematic all of the mechanics are, and I think that Treasure Island like does that in such a fun way for a pirate set that I'm just a little bit obsessed with. I love it a lot. Yeah,
I think I also somewhat called it in a previous podcast episode where I talked about a landmark where people are fighting over the gold on it. So yeah, fine.
I think you did.
Just if you ever want to hire me, LSS, I'm already in the right country.
Hire Kiki.
Both of us. Hire both of us. Not as devs though, I don't think.
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be good at that.
Unless everyone wants more broken illusionist cards, in which case, hit me up. Yeah, no, it does a really great job of making it almost feel like a different game. Not quite like a different game, but you know, like it adds a different experience to the limited format that feels very thematic and flavorful. And mechanically, it's really hard to make gold without it. Like, a lot of the gold producers, especially in Puffin, for example, are in Majestic. Or even Legendary if you include, like, the hook thing. So it's really nice that the limited format gets around that by giving you this kind of mini-game to play, which is really cute and fun. And adds, like, tension to the game that doesn't exist otherwise, where everything suddenly has an on-hit with the bare minimum of producing gold. And like the gold is actually a very worthy payoff in this format, being a resource to use your hero ability. So
once it, like, I play games where it's just kind of like, oh, you hit, you get a gold, I hit, you get a gold, and you're just kind of like racing, and it's like we're both just getting a gold every turn. But also once it gets to like the, oh wow, there's like 5 gold counters on Treasure Island right now, and then it's like, who the heck is gonna hit first? Because now we're both just blocking out, because it's like, you can't have that. That's a lot of gold. Like, I was fine with you having 1 gold, not all this gold. I need some gold too, and neither of us have gold. And I've been playing I was gonna say I've only played Gravy, but that's not true. I've played Puffin as well, one time. But in Gravy too, it's like his hero ability makes him, and you can't activate that without gold. And like, he really doesn't do anything that cool without it. Like, you could just send like a 3 for 7, but without the gold, it's like, I really need this gold.
yeah,
I don't know.
you gotta be able to start putting stuff in your graveyard to get it back. Or like with Puffin, for example, your attacks do nothing without cogs. Or do very little without cogs.
Yeah. Puffin has some cards that do say, at least one card that does say like create a gold cog on it, you know.
There's one at common rare, I believe, that makes it unconditionally.
I think. Right, make a gold cog.
But even then, you still want the gold to make the second gold cog, so that your first attack, you can give go again, you can attack with your weapon. But also, like,
draw a card.
Yeah, so you can draw your card and actually use your hero ability. Because without that second cog, your hero does no abilities.
Not much.
Yeah. Oh, I did a draft. There we go. I actually need to play more Fab, I realized. I did a draft last Monday, where I was what I call the Scurv Puffin, in the sense that I was playing Nimbleism. I think I had 3 Nimbleisms, the Jack B Nimble, the Jack B Quick, and 2 Nimbies. All in red. So I was playing like this very kind of half generic, half mechanologist Puffin deck. And my deck really functioned when I didn't draw 5 pumps in one hand, because I lost that game. But like,
Uh-oh.
when I was able to push through multiple attacks for like 7+, in the first few turns, get like 3 gold, and then from that point onwards, my game plan was to do the usual kind of puffin game plan of make a cog, crank, hit, get a gold, and keep that train kind of going. And yeah, so like the gold is pretty important in puffin. I think Merlin needs it the least, just realistically. It's useful, but not mandatory. Puffin's pretty strong without it, comparatively to the other heroes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh, there was something I was gonna say that I don't even remember what it was. I don't remember. Anyway,
Well,
my
I was just gonna say, you said you're playing a lot of Sealed at US Nationals, but I hear you're also cosplaying at US Nationals.
yeah. Okay, well maybe I should like go through my Nats days actually. Yeah, so I got there on. Oh, should I go through the whole thing, shenanigans as well, or just like event?
Shenanigans that are somewhat YouTube friendly, maybe.
Okay. Oh, first of all, I think all the shenanigans were YouTube friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped my mouse on the ground, and now my cat's playing with it, and so like the mouse keeps just like moving and like right clicking, and I keep having to correct that. Anyway, sorry.
Just imagine if you just like click out of this podcast at some point.
Yeah, if you see my eyes just like chasing the screen, I have to use my trackpad to correct anything my cat does. So let's see. I got there on Wednesday, and so I had Wednesday and Thursday without the event, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday was even, and I flew home on Monday. So Wednesday and Thursday was just kind of like shenanigans with friends. Like we were just kind of doing Vegas. We were drinking. Well, yeah, I was kind of like drinking, pacing myself on Wednesday, and then Thursday got up, we got brunch. I didn't really drink on Thursday because I wasn't feeling it. After drinking all day on Wednesday, Logan and Az were drinking on Thursday. They were doing a 20 beers before 6 o'clock challenge.
Jesus Christ.
So,
Did they succeed?
yeah. Yes.
This isn't like 20 combined, right? This is 20 each.
Yeah, 20 each, yeah. So it was like 40 beers before 6 o'clock. So we kept having to go to the beers. Yeah. But we just kind of like walked around. We just like did Vegas, went from like bar to bar from casino to casino. If you've ever been to Vegas or if you know anything about Vegas, then you would know that like these casinos are so extravagant, and the insides of the casinos are like a Disney World within itself. So they're just fun to like walk through. So Wednesday and Thursday was just kind of that. I intended to make 2 vlogs over the weekend. I don't think either of them are getting made because I kind of forgot about that. I kind of was really bad at that. I tried. Thursday we picked up event packages, and then like there was like the sports book area in the Westgate, which was where the event was, and that was where I was staying. That like everyone was just kind of around and drafting. Tried to get in on a few drafts, but they were all like full, and that's fine, is what it is. So I just kind of like watched some drafts that night, and I also, what happened? Oh, I wasn't really like feeling that well, so I kind of had an early night on Thursday. Friday, got up, went to the convention center. Energy was so fun. I played in a sealed event. I think it was like 10 a.m. maybe? 10 a.m. sealed? I don't remember the time. But I played in my first sealed event of the day that day, and I did not play Gravy. I played Puffin, and what did I do? Oh, I played Puffin. Yeah, I played Puffin. My sealed pool was interesting because I didn't open like any good Pirate Necromancer cards, or well, let me be completely honest. Every time I open a sealed pool, and this is just a personal thing, you know, it's nothing against LSS or anything. It's just a me thing, and you're gonna be like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, I separate out my seal pool into classes, and then afterwards I take the ranger cards and the pirate ranger cards and I put them in one pile, and I put them over there, and I don't look at them. So to say I didn't open any good class cards might not be accurate, because I don't even know what I opened. If it had Ranger on it, I didn't look at it. I'm so sorry to everyone who likes Ranger, and also to anyone just like willing to experience it. I'm just not. Hey, my cat, stop pressing the mouse. So I was about to say I didn't open any good class cards. I don't know. Any good, I don't know. Because I took all the Ranger cards and I put them over there. And then I looked at the Gravy cards and I looked at the Puffin cards. And I was like, none of these are particularly good pools for either of these two heroes. I forgot there was a third hero, so I just didn't even look at it. But then I looked at the generic cards and I was like, these are really good generic cards. So I built a Puffin deck because I felt it made more sense to build a generic centered Puffin deck rather than a Gravy deck. Yeah. And that first game I played a Puffin mirror, and I lost in a close game that I don't know. I was like, wow, this deck is kind of really bad. And then the second game I played, I don't remember what hero I played against actually. I was about to say it was either Puffin, Gravy, or Marlin, but that's all the options, so that's not very helpful.
It could have been Scurv.
It wasn't Scurv. That's what I was gonna say. You talked about like a Puffin Scurv build. I have yet to play as Scurv or play against Scurv after this whole weekend and pre-releases. I have yet to play as Scurv or against Scurv. So haven't seen that. Haven't experienced that hero yet. Unfortunately, because I really wanted to all weekend, but I didn't. So, my cat. So, I don't remember what the second hero was, but I did win that game, and the deck felt a lot better. It was doing what it was. Either the deck was doing what it was supposed to be doing, or I learned something after the first game I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Either way, that game went really well. It was really fun. And then I actually ended up dropping that event because I wanted to go put on my mermaid cosplay before my next sealed event. Because I was playing like back-to-back sealed events and I wanted to play. Everyone was dressed as pirates, which was so fun and so cool. And I was like, I don't know if I want to wear the mermaid cosplay. So when I showed up for the morning event, I was like, I'm not feeling it. We'll see what the vibe is like, and then I'll get changed if the vibe is good. Then I was like, oh, I can play back-to-back seal. Guess I'm not gonna wear the mermaid. And then everyone was dressed as pirates, and I was like, I really want to play. Like, I feel so left out. I should be dressed up. This is so me, so up my alley. Like, it felt really wrong for everyone around me to be in cosplay and not to be in cosplay. I was having big FOMO. So I dropped, after 2 games, I dropped the first sealed so I could go get in the mermaid and come back to play the second sealed. Second sealed, I had a busted Gravy deck. It was such a good deck. I mean, it felt like a blitz deck. I was just like, this is an insane Gravy pool. Again, don't know what my Marlin pool was like. Looked at the Gravy pool first and was like, this is an amazing Gravy pool. I have to play it. So I did. The first round, I'm not gonna remember my matchups at all. But well, actually, this one I'll remember. But that's a funny story. So, first round, I actually do remember my matchups. I take it back. I played against a Marlin. That was my first time playing a Marlin. So that means the first event I must have played a Puffin or a Gravy. But played against a Marlin, and it was a very close game. And I knew this was going to happen because I was running 5 allies in the deck and I'd only seen 2. Mm-hmm. So, decks are getting thin, life totals are low, it's so close, and I'm like, I'm probably going to brick and not be able to win this game because I haven't seen 3 allies left, and there's not many cards left in my deck. So, yeah, I drew 3 allies, couldn't block, and died. So I lost that first game. Then the second game, I got paired into my first round opponent from the original Puffin mirror that I lost during the first sealed event. And, he was like, hey, like, funny running into you again. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but this time I'm on Gravy.
I think this time I'm a mermaid.
He was like, yeah, I know. I was like, this time I'm on Gravy. And he was like, oh, I'm also on Gravy this time. So we got to rematch a mirror, and I won that game. He beat me the first time, I beat him the second time. We need to play a third game if you're listening to this, because now we're 1-1. So it's got to be best 2 out of 3, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was a fun game. Got that win. And then I played I think 2 more mirrors after that, and I won both of those. So I went 3-1 in that event. And funny thing, after round 3, there was this guy who was dressed as a pirate, really good pirate costume that he was wearing all weekend. He was carrying around a chest. He was super cool. We sat next to each other for round 3, and I think we both played a mirror, and we both won. His game wrapped up before mine. He was kind of like watching me play. My opponent, myself, him, and his opponent, we were all just kind of like talking, having a good time, because like low-key, that deck was so good. Aside from the first game, like I was kind of bullying people with the deck. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I was throwing like 18 damage a turn at them. I was just like bullying people, and so I kept being like, oh, I'm so sorry to do this to you again, like bam, 18 damage, like bam, another like bam, bring Scabby back, and the guy or Swabby back, and he's like, oh my gosh, like stop. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I was like, we were all kind of having a good time, and I won. The guy sitting next to me also played a Gravy Mirror and won, the pirate guy. And so then afterwards he's like, I was looking at your hand, like your deck is so good. I'm like, yeah, this is a really good Gravy deck. So he's like, can I see? So I'm like, yeah. I give him my deck, and he's like, look at mine. Our decks were like 3 cards off from being the exact same deck. Okay, yeah, so we start talking, and I'm like, I played a mirror before this and I won too. And he's like, me too. And I'm like, my first round was a Marlin. And he's like, me too, but I died because I drew up 3 allies and I couldn't block. And I was like, I also drew up 3 allies and I couldn't block. That's how I died. And so then we're like, oh my gosh, like same record, same way that we died. Like, what if we get paired into each other? Round 4 comes around, we don't get paired into each other, but we move tables and we're seated next to each other again. And so we both play another mirror, and we both win again. So we had like the same records, same matchup, same deaths, same like win during one game. And we were like, oh my gosh, like I think like, you know, invisible string theory, something's happening here. So that was just like really fun. I love like interacting with people at conventions in those ways. And then I went to shower before dinner because I was blue and I was turning everything blue.
When people say they're blue, it's because, you know, I wasn't feeling gross. I was feeling blue. No, you were literally blue.
Yeah, I was literally blue. So I got like, you know, I got a good amount of prize packs that day, or yeah, prize tickets that day, and we took like a cosplay little party photo together, which Carolina posted on Bluesky and Twitter, and I retweeted on both of those. It was really cute and fun, and I was you can't see it in the photo, but like I had that skirt thing on, but my legs I had painted like they looked like blue scales, right? Because I had like what I did was I just put on fishnets and then I took like blue body spray and just sprayed myself down. It actually wasn't body spray because I couldn't find any body spray, so I had to buy hairspray, which I think maybe is why. Anyway, I had to go scrub off the top layer of my skin to get it off, and but it was fun. It was worth it. I had a great time. I was carrying around Swedish fish and gummy sharks and giving those out to anyone and everyone who wanted them. So that was just kind of fun to do as well. And yeah, I think that was like my day at the convention center, day one.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I turned myself not blue, we went out to that was the night we went out to Fremont Street, which, if you don't know, Fremont Street is the original Vegas Strip. So it's like old Vegas, like the Vegas that all those old celebrities that made Vegas famous experienced when they would go to Vegas. And it's a time. It's like old, it's dirty, it's grimy, it's a little bit crazy, it's kind of awesome, and it's cheap and relatively speaking. So we like, group of us went out to Fremont Street. I had a great time that night. Oh my gosh, Carolina got attacked by this gorilla, which I was videoing her, and I was also like speed taking pictures. It's so
By,
funny.
Like an actual gorilla?
Yeah, well, no, like, so we went to the casino. I'll get back to that. We went to the casino and everyone was gambling. We were drinking, and I hadn't like gambled 3 days in Vegas. I hadn't gambled yet. I put $15 into this machine. I was like, I'm gonna go wander. So I started walking around the casino alone, just wandering. Then I passed by this machine, and I was like, this is the machine that I'm gonna put money in this weekend. So I put about $15 in it, and I left with $150 from that machine.
Nice.
So I was like, yeah, I can sniff them out. And then half the group left, and the other half of us were just like dancing and drinking on Fremont Street. And I have a video, I'll show you. Carolina's like dancing, like, you know, and there's this big giant gorilla, like a person in a gorilla costume, but this gorilla is so big. Let me just send you like one picture just so you can get a size reference for the gorilla while we're talking. It's so funny. I'll have to send you the video after, because there's like a giant gorilla dancing behind Carolina, and I'm like videoing Carolina dancing, and then the gorilla like notices that I'm videoing Carolina dancing and like comes up behind her and just grabs her. And so I have this whole thing, because while she was dancing I was just like also taking photos, so I'm like videoing and taking photos. So, you know, I have a video of her being attacked, but then I have like a video series, a photo series too, that's like 40 photos that if you just like scroll in sequence, it's like her dancing, the gorilla just getting like closer and closer and closer until he just like eventually grabs her, and she's like, it's really,
Sounds horrifying.
it was pretty funny. It was kind of scary. It's kind of maybe scary for Carolina, but it was so funny.
You're right, this gorilla is massive. How big is this guy? Dang. Okay. But she was fine, right? Like, she's okay.
Yeah. Yes, we all thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
She was fine.
Okay, that's good.
It's kind of really scary looking though. Like its face is scary. It's showing teeth.
Yeah. Did the mouth close?
Um. Yeah, and then we had like a bottle of soju. And then it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, okay, I should go. Like, we should all like go home. Like, tomorrow's Saturday in the convention center, which is the biggest. You know, it's always like that's the big day. So it's like it's 2 a.m. We should all go home. And everyone's like, yeah, we should go home. And we had like a bottle of soju. And Az from Az Go Again Gaming, friend of the pod, we love, was with us and like grabbed the bottle of soju, uncapped it, and just like chugged the soju down in one go and was like, I'm going solo. And we're like, what? And he's like, yep, I'm going solo. Going to have a solo night, and just like goes and walks away. And once you lose someone on Fremont, they're lost on Fremont. So we're just like, yeah, Az is going solo. Let's get in our Uber. So we all like get in our Uber. I text Logan, who had already gone home at that point, and just like, you know, let him know Az is going solo, because Az was Logan's responsibility.
It's weird to say about an adult man.
but
we know
you know,
Az.
it was like, yeah, we know Az, and Logan was Az's roommate, and you know, so it was like, you're in charge of Az, and then I was left in charge, and I was like, okay, well, you know, once you drink a bottle of soju and wander into Fremont Street, it's 2 a.m. and I gotta go home, and we're just gonna make sure everyone's bases are covered. So I text Logan, I'm like, by the way, Az is going solo. The rest of us are in an Uber back. And Logan just like, well, okay. And, you know, then I send Az a text, and I'm like, just keep me updated throughout the night. At least let me know when you get home safe. And so Az is like, yeah, gotcha. The next day I wake up at 7 a.m. and I like click my phone. I'm like, I don't have a text from Az saying that Az got home safe. And so I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like, if Az wasn't home, something happened. Like, Logan would have contacted me. So, sure, everything's fine. Az got home, just didn't tell me. So I start getting ready for my day, doing my things, because it's 7 in the morning. And then about like 7:45, I get a text from Az that's like, headed home. And Az like walked home, which was like a 2-hour walk when you're in Vegas, or an hour walk, hour and a half walk.
Good time to sober up.
Yeah, good time to sober up, I guess. So Az had like a little solo all night thing, which I'm sure was a blast. And like Az in true fashion, like 3.5 hours, 4 hours later, I saw him, and he just seemed so fine and alive. And I just like shout out to Az, because when people say like built different, they're truly referring to Az, because I'm not built that way. I never could be, never would be.
This is the same guy that passed out in Japan, got his stuff taken from him, and still cycled to a different city the next day.
Yeah, still like got up at like 6 a.m. and biked to a different city. Crazy.
He's just built different.
So much. Yeah, he just is built different. Like, I'm not built like that. Okay, so Saturday was of course the calling, which I had registered for, but I ended up being the second cosplay judge for the weekend with Carolina. So I went ahead, went downstairs, switched my calling entry to a battle hardened entry, because I had like purchased like the event package where you got to access to a main event. Mm-hmm. So I switched my calling entry to battle hardened entry, because I was going to be judging. I wouldn't be able to play in the calling, which was totally fine with me. The only thing about the battle hardened was that I didn't have a CC deck on me, so I was like, I'll figure that out later.
Didn't end up bringing Grave with you.
That was fine. I did have a CC deck with me because I had Gravy, but I had not made any updates to Gravy because I couldn't get my hand on products, so I just had the Gravy CC deck, like the Armory deck. Excuse me, yeah, the Gravy Armory deck, which I would have played. It would have been fine. I wouldn't have won, but it would have been fun. I mean, maybe like I could have found like some shelters to shove in it at least or something. I don't know, but I had to finish sewing my cosplay that morning. So, finished sewing my cosplay in the hotel room. Then I headed down to the convention center and like checked in on all my friends, see how they were doing in the calling. Just kind of like walked around, moseyed around as you do in the convention center. Went back upstairs, got into cosplay, and then came down and spent like the next like 4.5 hours judging the cosplay contest with Carolina, which, out of respect to all the cosplay judges, that was a long day. It entailed a lot, but I had so much fun and enjoyed judging so much, and I just felt like really inspired after that day with just being able to like see all the craftsmanship that the cosplayers displayed and all the work that went into these cosplays, and just like the creativity of like, it's so interesting to see and talk to people about how they made their cosplays and think like, how would I have done this differently? And like, you know, like it's just like very cool to like see different perspectives and ideas on crafting. And it's like, oh, that's really smart. I would have never thought to do that. And it gives you like being able to talk to people and be like, wait, how'd you do that? And it's like, they're like, oh, I did blah blah blah. And I'm like, ah, oh, I wouldn't have thought to do that. Like a new skill I can learn. Wow, so fun, so cool. So all the cosplays were amazing. That was so much fun. Carolina, a true master of her craft. Also just like amazing to be able to like spend a day with her. I felt like I was like learning from watching her judge and just like interact with people. So that was awesome. I had so much fun. I was so exhausted afterwards, if I'm being honest. Like it was just like a long day. Like it was just like, wow, this is like a long day and a long process when you're sitting here judging. But it was awesome. I honestly am really grateful I got to do that. I really liked it. Went out to dinner with my locals that night, and then went back out to the casino. Of course, had to casino every single night.
You're in Vegas.
And then Sunday, I woke up. I was like texting people trying to find a CC deck for the Battle Harden. So I was like, I'll play Gravy, but maybe I should play something better than the Armory deck. But then Carolina and Rachel were playing in the Team Sealed event and asked if I wanted to be on their Team Sealed team. So I dropped from the Battle Harden and I played Team Sealed with Carolina and Rachel, which was very fun because we were a bounty team because Carolina was like sponsored from LSS to give out packs. So Team Sealed, there was 3 of us. One of us had like a secret treasure pack bounty on us. So when we sit down in front of across our opponents, we'd be like, one of us has a treasure pack bounty and the other 2 have a regular high seas pack bounty. And so like if you beat us, you get either the treasure pack or the high seas, but you don't know like who's playing for what, right? So that was like a really fun thing. Just like very fun thing to be able to do. Also, Sealed in this format is crazy. I felt like we were just like playing blitz decks. We did not open Scurv or play Scurv, but I played Gravy, Carolina played Marlin, and Rachel played Puffin, which felt like
all of that makes sense.
Yeah, it made sense. Yeah,
the mech player is playing
sense.
The mech
was
hero.
Appropriate.
Carolina, who's cosplaying as Marlin's playing Marlin, and you're playing Gravy because you don't touch Marlin. It all makes sense.
Yeah, and Gravy's well, he's not my man because that's Ocilio, but I've been really liking him. Something about like the big blue guys.
It's like if
Yeah.
you painted that
So
gorilla
about,
blue, like you would have been all about it.
I'd have been all about it. Yeah. I'd have been all about it, all over it. Yeah. Um, so that was that was a lot of fun. But in this sealed, they gave you the box sealed, so I wasn't expecting to get the sealed box because I wasn't expecting the treasure packs to be given to us for the sealed, but they were, and you're allowed to play everything but the expansion slot. So you can play what you open in the treasure pack.
It's like if I'm the legendary, you can
Which
play
was-
legendary.
Yeah, we opened Hook.
That's disgusting.
So we got to play with Hook, which was really fun. We also opened a Polycranka, but we couldn't play with Polly because Polly was in the expansion pack because we opened it. Yeah, the expansion slot because we opened it. So you could play with cold foils, you could play with treasure. You could play with everything but the expansion slot. And that was really fun and just felt like really powerful. So we played that. We gave away we didn't win. So we did give away packs and had a really great time. And then I went to a Star Wars burlesque show Sunday night. And then I flew out Monday morning.
How was that? I know you're very excited about that.
The Star Wars burlesque? Yeah, it was really fun. It was Star Wars burlesque. Exactly. I wasn't very sure like if the show would have a storyline or if it would just be like Star Wars themed burlesque. And it was the latter. It was just Star Wars themed burlesque, which was equally incredible. Yeah. 10 out of 10.
That sounds like a great time.
If you like burlesque and Star Wars, I would definitely recommend doing that.
That sounds like you had a really fantastic weekend. Did you have any highlights? What was your favorite thing? Putting you on the spot.
Favorite thing, okay, like during I think maybe just like actually I think maybe my favorite part of the weekend was just judging the cosplay contest because it was just like it was just very inspiring and I really liked like doing that and being able to talk to people about their cosplays. I really loved that, and I liked it gave me the opportunity to just like meet people too.
Yeah.
I like being able to say hi to people. I love being able to say hi to people, but it's so hard to do in the convention center, so I don't know. It was just fun. Outside the convention center, Fremont Street was that was just a fun time with friends. Yeah.
That sounds chaotic.
Maybe a little. Yeah. Carolina getting attacked by the gorilla. That was my favorite part of the weekend.
That's such a weird sentence out of context. Sounds like you're like at a zoo or something.
Right, right. At that, like, yeah. Right, it sounds like cruel out of context, but it's like, no, it was just like a gorilla suit person.
Mm-hmm. Being a bit weird, but oh, that was your recap of nationals. We did a last minute shout out for questions. You think we should get onto those?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so in chronological order, our first one comes from our valued listener who's commented on basically every question we've ever had, or question post we've ever had. So this comes from Alex at deviledeggs.bsky.social. And they say, rank the food / dinners you had. What's something you wish you got to do but had no time? Any absolutely goated pulls you haven't shared? So nice to meet you. Hope to meet you again soon. So firstly, rank the food.
Okay, well, most of the food that I consumed was the egg and cheese sandwich from the like Vivi little grab and go coffee shop inside the Westgate, which was overpriced, but it tasted fine. Um, we went to like I was like very drunk, but on the Wednesday night I was very drunk. Is that Wednesday? Must have been. I don't know.
No, you're
I was
really drunk.
Um, yeah, there's no way to know, really.
Is it really a Wednesday?
And yeah, I think it was Wednesday night. The night we got there, I was drunk, and we went to a ramen shop, and it was delicious. It was such good ramen. It was really, really good. That was probably like my highlight of food for the weekend. Ooh, and then when I went out to dinner with my locals, oh, actually, above that, I went to dinner with like some friends on Sunday night before the burlesque show, and Mo Bogsley took us to dinner, and I was like, I'm gonna go change for the burlesque show. I don't care where we eat, just pick a place. And I came down, he's like, are you okay with the Crack Shack? And I'm like,
What?
yeah, exactly. That sounds questionable, but we have a limited time window and I'm hungry, so just take me to this Crack Shack. And that was delicious. That was really good. It was like chicken sandwiches. I had like a really yummy like chicken sandwich with a lot of pickles on it, and then I also got Mo Boxley's pickles and the pickles from his slaw he picked up.
Wow.
This is like the coleslaw was like a pickle coleslaw, so I got that and his pickles and my own pickles, and that was delicious. It was just like it really was really good. The Crack Shack in Vegas hit it up. So good. Kind of like, what did I have for dinner every night? And then we went to before Fremont Street. I was so hungry I don't even remember what I ate because I was so hangry. I was like, I need dinner as soon as possible or I'm gonna yell at someone. And then we ended up getting dinner like 3 hours later. And I am still I was going insane. So I don't even remember like what the food tasted like that night. Just remember that I finally could eat it. But I went to the Bacchanal with my locals and I ate a ton of crab legs, and that's always a treat.
Beautiful.
And those are really the only. Oh, I just remembered another. Maybe above
the Crack Shack.
Ooh. No, it's gotta be below the Crack Shack, I think, but above the crab legs. So we have ramen, Crack Shack, and then for dinner for breakfast on Thursday, hungover breakfast on Thursday, we went to Mon Ami in Paris. And I was like, on the way there, I was like, I'm hungry. And one thing about me is when I'm hungover, I eat. Like, I need to be fed 24/7 the next day. Like, I need to be fed around the clock. I eat. And we went to Mon Ami for breakfast, and I was like, I'm about to chow down and no one's about to judge me. And I got like 3 orders, and I smashed that, and that was really delicious. Got like a breakfast sandwich, and I got hazelnut Nutella waffles with hand whipped cream, and I ate some bread, and I got a mimosa and a lot of water, and I ate, and that was really good. And then after that, I'll just combine the two because we went to like Carmine's, which is like family style Italian dinner, and I had like 4 servings of the chicken lemon pasta after I said I wasn't hungry and I wasn't gonna eat. But it was really good. And then the crab legs.
That's a beautiful top 4.
Yeah.
So funny. I'm not hungry.
Yeah, I'm not hungry. Give me 4 servings of this pasta, though.
Yeah, not a 5th.
After I just had like
too many.
Yeah. After I had like 3 entrees from this place, like it was just delicious. What was the second question?
The second question comes from Georgia. Georgia is a wizard.
No,
Social.
Alex
Oh, right. Yes. No,
asked-
this is like 3-parter. I forgot. No, you're right. Okay.
Also,
Yeah?
I also have something to give you from Alex because I got to meet Alex over the weekend. Alex was in the cosplay contest. Looked fantastic.
They were Katsu, is that correct?
Yeah, they were Katsu, and they were so sweet. They gave both of us like a little card, a little envelope. I opened mine, but I didn't tell you what was in it.
I have no clue.
Maybe I say I didn't tell you what was in it because I have one for you as well.
Thank you, Alex.
So thank you, Alex. That was very
So
sweet.
wholesome.
Really made my weekend.
Their second part of the question is, what's something you wish you had got to do but had no time?
Karaoke. I didn't get to karaoke, and I almost got to karaoke because I almost couldn't get on a flight, but I did get on a flight, and I was a little bit sad because that meant I couldn't karaoke.
If you come to Oakland, we can do it.
And I pushed for karaoke hard throughout the weekend. Didn't get to karaoke. Also, Meow Wolf, the Area 51. I wanted to do that, and I didn't get to do that. Yeah. I think. Also, okay, so then Alex asked, also, any absolutely goated pools you haven't shared? Not really. Not really. I did open a lot of product this past weekend, and like I think I had a pretty good box, but I don't think I had anything like goated. I did not pool them, but I did pick up cold foil sabers this weekend.
How good.
So I was really, really happy and excited.
She's back. How beautiful.
Yeah, I know. I can't stay off the side for long.
Well, speaking of hero choices, Georgia asks, do I play Verdance or Acilio for Nationals?
I am biased and will say Acilio.
Your man.
But my man's, but I'll let Kiki give a non-biased answer because I can't speak against my man's.
My hair is literally red. What? We even had the whole thing where each of us are represented by the other wizard hero in Rosetta. But in terms of not being biased, I think it depends on what you want to do. Like, if you're trying to win more quickly, then obviously Acilio is the choice. I think Acilio is a harder deck to play. The inability to block a lot of the time is pretty rough, and the combo is significantly more obscure than Verdance's. I think Verdance is a slower kind of... They're like, I guess if you want to make it akin, like Acilio leans more Kano, whereas Verdance leans more Icelander in terms of the aggro and control kind of spectrum. Personally, I like Verdance more, but again, that's a bias. Acilio's doing things though. I think Acilio may be underrated currently.
I do agree that I think maybe Acilio is a little underrated. Verdance did just win US Nats, so of course she's got kind of like a fire beneath her right now. But Acilio, that's my man. He wouldn't leave you wrong, but...
Yeah. Also, I've seen Acilio do some dirty things. Dirty things. With numerous attacks and Gone in a Flash, etc. As you'd kind of expect. But yeah. Knowing you, Georgia, specifically, I reckon Verdance is more the play than Acilio. I think you're more of an Icelander than a Kano.
Yeah.
Next question. This one comes from Deb, our good friend, at bubblewaffle.bsky.social, and she asks, how was judging for the cosplay contest? How do you survive the Las Vegas weather that don't involve just staying inside with all the smoke? And then a sweat emoji.
How was judging for the cosplay contest? It was like busy and exhausting, but so like fulfilling and so much fun. I already, talked about it a good bit in this episode, so I'll just stick to what I've already said because I really, really liked it. As far as surviving the Las Vegas weather, because it was hot, but I was actually pretty fine despite the drinking and staying up late, thanks to Alex, because they suggested start your morning with Pedialyte, and I was like, that's a good idea. I notoriously do not drink enough water, and I told that to them, and so they gave that suggestion, and I was like, I'm actually gonna do that. and I went out and I bought a bunch of Pedialyte, and then I started my day every day with Pedialyte. And well, I kind of like I started my day with like half a Pedialyte, and then before I went to bed I drink like the other half. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but it really worked. Yeah, my cat is sneezing over there. It really worked. I felt pretty good and hydrated throughout the weekend. I was like, wow, this is great. There were some mornings when I did drink a whole Pedialyte, and maybe some nights when I drank a whole Pedialyte and I wasn't super consistent because it was just kind of whatever my body needed when it needed it. But that was great, and I would like for, if anyone who listens to this is a doctor, to let me know if that's healthy to do just like every day, because as someone who does not drink a lot of water, enough water at all, like I don't think I've ever felt so hydrated in my life, and I really liked that feeling. But it's been 26 years of not drinking enough water, so I don't think regular water is just gonna carry me there. But if I could just do that as a normal routine, I think that would be very good for me, unless that's actually bad for you and you shouldn't do that. Sign off. Let me know, please. I'm seeking medical advice.
Comment down below. Is Elaine hydration poisoning herself?
Yeah, let me know.
And the last spontaneous question we got, let me refresh just to make sure that's a true and factual statement. Don't want to lie to y'all. Yeah, so the last question we have is from Matan, sad titled .bsky.social. Who was your favorite person named Matan to see this weekend?
It was you, Matan. I love Matan. They are one of my locals. And funny thing about Matan is that, so I fly standby, and ahead of Vegas, like all my locals were coordinating flights, and Matan is like, you should just fly, like you should book the same flight as me. Here's my flight information. I'm like, I fly standby, so I don't know about that. And like the flight they were on was like the only like direct flight back home. So I was trying to go like from Dallas to New York, and like the first like 3 flights of the day, standby was just not going well, because like the first flight, all like the standby people didn't get on, so they all got bumped to the second flight. And then the second flight, I was like first in line for the third flight, and because like people just kept getting bumped, once third flight was boarding and the second flight of people didn't get on and they got bumped to my flight, then I went to like 20th in line at my flight, and I was like, I don't know if I'm getting home today, because like it was looking rough, and they were bumping everyone from my flight to the next flight. So I was like, we're just gonna keep getting bumped, and I'm gonna end up like on a red eye back tonight. Well, then Matan like gets to the airport, and their gate is right next to mine, so like they come sit down with me, and like we're just hanging out talking, and they're like, well, you should just try and get on my flight. So I'm like, okay. So I go up to the person, I'm like, instead of bumping me to the next Dallas flight, can you bump me to that flight? And I get bumped like from the flight I just didn't get on to Matan's flight, and then I'm like, by some miracle, the only person who ended up getting on that flight with Matan. So we ended up like, I ended up getting to fly back with my locals, which was fun, and also I ended up getting to fly back direct, which is always nicer than having a layover. And I got home earlier than I was originally scheduled to get home because of that. So
How good.
It was nice. How good. It worked out perfect.
It went from being like, I'm gonna get home so late, and who knows if it's late, being ahead of schedule.
Oh yeah, I'm ahead of schedule, and I'm with my locals, and yeah, and life is good.
And finally, just a cheeky follow-up to that previous question, once again from Alex at Deviled 3 Eggs. I just went for it that time. Follow-up. Who was your favorite egg you got to see this weekend? Oh.
It was definitely you, Alex.
There we go. I'd be surprised if there's other ones. I don't know if there are other ones. Unless you were talking about your sandwich, maybe?
Oh no, the sandwich was
Yeah,
overpriced.
yeah. There you go. You're
Yeah,
good value, Alex.
yeah, good value, definitely.
Well, that's all the questions we have. Any final thoughts about your time in Vegas?
No, it was a really good time. I'm glad I got to go. And yeah, I love going to events and seeing people, meeting people, and shout out and thank you to like everyone who just, oh my gosh, everyone that I got to play games against. I had like really great fun times playing games um, against people. I had a great time judging. Like I had a great time being a part of like the bounty team with Carolina. It was just like one of those weekends that were just kind of like one of those perfect weekends. So beyond that, beyond everyone I played games with, just like thank you to everyone who also just came up, took pictures with me while I was in cosplay, said hi. Like, I had people come up and say that they, are excited for season 3 of the league and like love the podcast, and that's just means more to me and to us than we can even express. So thank you for all those small interactions. Yeah.
For sure. Well, I guess it's time to wrap it up. So, Elaine, how do we find you on socials?
You can find me on Bluesky and on X, formerly known as Twitter, under eHamontree. It's just eHamontree, like bacon on bush or pork on shrubbery. It's all one word. So yeah. And how can the people find you, Kiki?
You can find me at Bluesky at kikibird.bsky.social. You can find me on Twitter at kiki_LA93. And of course, you can find our league at PitchPerfectPod at pitchperfectpod.bsky.social, and our league, which you should follow us at rainbowxpitch.bsky.social, and I think the same for Twitter minus the bsky part. Join us on Discord if you like. Inquire about the league if that's your kind of thing. Registrations should be starting on the 16th of June, if it hasn't already passed the 16th of June, and we'll be starting the event on the 30th. So, make sure you're all part of that. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, etc. And yeah, I think that's us for the day. We'll go let Elaine go and rest and sleep in her cozy Christmas pajamas.
Bye.
Goodbye.